All right, shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. We're back with, I think this is part 4 now. And we left off talking about how Yahshua came to reinstate us back to the priesthood, which leads us now to the next question, right? Or the next statement, which I'm going to turn into a question. I'm going to deal with some things here. So the question says, no man can die for our sins, right? Okay. Is that true or is that false, right? What does Tanakh say about a man dying for our sins, right? So, or what is sin? So, as we know, Hebrew 101, sin is transgression, right? So, no man can die for our transgression, right? Okay, the animals did, right? When we transgressed against the Most High's laws, right? What? Instead of us dying, he did what? He took the animal, right? And sacrificed the animal, right? So now, then another piece I want to bring out too also is that when one man sinned, right, death passed to the whole earth, right? So if you don't believe that, then why do people die? You know, if people were created to be eternally and people die, what was the deciding factor that death would be something that would happen to every person born, right? So by one man's sin, right? By one man's sin, death came into the whole world, right? That is evident, right? Now, so why isn't it that by one man's righteousness, right, dying, that there would be a clean slate for those who follow, who accept that he came through 42 generations to reinstate us back to being the kingdom of priesthood, right? Now, what I want to point out is that um, passages was shared speaking to Exodus 32. So, without going into a great detail, is basically speaking to how that the Most High was angry with Israel, and he was going to wipe them out. So the Most High told Shemaiah or Moses, he said, the people that you brought out of Egypt have corrupted themselves, right? So he said, I'm going to wipe them out, right? And I'm going to make you a great nation, right? So that's in Exodus chapter 32. That's verses 9 through 14. I have it here in my footnotes right here. Okay. But then Shemaiah came back and said to the Most High, "Oh, these are your people," and they gonna say you brought them out of here. The Egyptians gonna say you brought them out of here to kill them in the wilderness, right? So the Most High honored the covenant. He said, "Remember the covenant you made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob," right? So that's what happened there. So no, Shemaiah was not trying to offer himself as a sacrifice for the nation of Israel. He basically was trying to pacify the judgment on the nation, right? So let's go back. Let's just kind of read the portion that was in question on that. So he says that Shemaiah returned to Yah and said, "On this people have I sinned, a great sin, and you have made them a deed to go. Yet now, if you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray you, out of the." So he didn't tell them to kill him, right? So it wasn't that he was trying to die for him. He said, just blot me out of the book, because I brought them out here. I feel responsible, right? So he wasn't saying kill me, right? So I don't see where that is relevant to no man can die for our sins, right? But however, a man can die for the sin, just like a man can cause sin to come upon the whole world by his disobedience. So, because we come through the loins of Adam, right? Now, to the point of a man can die, which is one that most people who says they're Torah only can't explain. Okay, Isaiah 53, right? Now, I ask you this question. You just said that no man can die for sins, right? So if Isaiah 53 is Israel, the suffering servant, then is Israel a man? Because let's just read a little bit of it, right? "O Yah, who has believed our report? To whom has the arm of Yah been revealed? We brought a report as of a child before him." This is the Brenton's version. Man, I'll go back to the King James version because I don't want to confuse nobody. Let's go to King James version. Okay. Let's do the restore names. "Who have believed our report, and to whom is the arm of Yah revealed?" Right? For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant and as a root out of dry ground. He have no form of comeliness, and when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected of men, a man acquainted with sorrows, acquainted with grief, and we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken. I always get twisted on this part here. We did esteem him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted, right? But he was wounded for our transgressions. How about that? And was bruised for our iniquities, right? And the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. So you got a lot of explaining to do this verse here. Who is the he was wounded? Who's the he? He was wounded for he and our. So was Israel. So most of my Torah only friends say that he is talking about Israel. So Israel was wounded for Israel's transgression. He was bruised. So how could, if you're in transgression, how could you be wounded for your own transgression if you're in transgression? Right? Only way to be redeemed from transgression is to walk into obedience, right? But he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquities, right? And the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed, right? So now let's look, just not to confuse you, but look at Brenton's, see what Brenton said. But he was wounded on the account of our sins, right? And was bruised because of our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his bruises we were healed, right? So that is my point there. So no man can die for our sins. Yeah, we find the prophet said that this man would, whoever this suffering servant is, would die for our sins. So he was wounded for our transgression, right? So to that point, I think that's not correct. So we see that. Okay. Let's go a little further here.